Hello, my name is HQ of ITSMYRACEX. Welcome to my channel. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button, share the stream, and click the notification button for new content.
Hello, everybody. One of them days, one of those nights that we just happened to be here. And we ran across this Nick Fuentes. Jim, why do they allow this man to keep roasting this president? Why do they allow this man to say the things that he is saying? And he's so spot on with it. I don't know why. Because I think it was because he used to be a MAGA person, and it takes a MAGA person to actually call out the stuff that Donald Trump does. And this MAGA person calls out the stuff that Donald Trump does, or former MAGA, right? And he listened to the speech that the president had yesterday. He listened to it, and he was like, what the hell is going on? He was like, what the hell is going on? And he said, yet again, he brought facts. And he brought roasting facts to this president. So I don't know what kind of issue or problem they're ever going to have, or they're going to be able to solve with this Nick Fuentes. I don't know what kind of problem they're going to be able to work out. But whatever problem it is, they need to get him on their side, because he cannot be allowed to run around and say the things that he is saying. And this president looks good because he has an army of people behind him. And it's not a good look when somebody is roasting you that used to belong to your party, that used to be in your party, and now they continue to roast you. But let's listen to Nick. Because I'm like, that's a bad look, President, Mr. President. This young man is bringing a bad look to you.
It's over. It's totally over. It's happening exactly how I predicted it would. Remember, nobody believed me. Nobody cared.
Right.
Nobody listened. Everybody was whipped up. Everybody wanted to work on the campaign. Everybody wanted to get in the admin. Everybody wanted to be a part of it because they know nothing. They know nothing. And they don't care. They don't care about what we're doing here. And last year, this is what I said, because we need a little reality check, okay? It's almost Christmas, so it's time to air out the grievances and put everyone on blast. I said last year, Trump is going to win, and then he is going to sell us down the tubes to Silicon Valley, to the Israel lobby, and Wall Street. I said, here's what we're going to get. We're going to get tax cuts for Wall Street. We're going to get investment for AI. We're going to get a war with Iran. Israel's going to get the West Bank. We're not getting mass deportations. I said, that just ain't going to happen. And it's not going to happen because inflation is persistently high. Inflation will be persistently high because we are in stagflation territory. You cannot deport your cheap labor source working in hospitality, working in agriculture, working elsewhere when you already have inflation and plan to implement across the board tariffs. It's not going to work. And I said that last year, and nobody was listening. Nobody cared, but that is exactly what has happened. That's one. Two, I told you, even during the transition, I said, we are not going to have as much time as you think. I said, what will happen in this lame duck presidency is that Trump is going to have a year, maybe a year and a half to make things happen. He's going to have a year and a half when it is still hot off the presses, still fresh off his victory in the actual election. He's going to have a year and a half relatively unopposed to actually get stuff done. I said, but then immediately in 2026, they're going to start campaigning for the midterms. And they're going to be so distracted and they're going to try to moderate that they will not be able to achieve anything. Right. And then we're going to lose the House anyway. Right. We're going to lose the House because we only won it by 4 votes in the actual election year.
Right.
Running as an unpopular incumbent, you're almost certainly going to lose. And once you lose that, it's not going to get better with Democrats controlling the House. Very quickly, we proceed into 2027, right, where J.D. Vance is going to be running for president.
Right.
Because other Republicans may announce, and there's going to be a primary contest, and then half of the Republican Party will be focused on 28. Then you'll be in 28, and it's another election all over again.
Right.
And what did we hear from Susie Wiles last week, the chief of staff?
Mm-hmm.
She said, I am going to have Trump campaigning in 26 like we had him campaigning in 24.
Right.
That means she's going to run him ragged. He's going to be crisscrossing the country, doing events, doing rallies. He's going to be taxing himself enormously. And he only has so much energy. He's falling asleep in cabinet meetings as it is. He's an 80-year-old man. They're going to have him so wound up doing these rallies, trying to keep our majority in the House, which is in vain. That all of the career politicians are going to be able to get everything past the goalie at the White House.
Right.
As it always happens. While Trump is on a military campaign, figuratively, while Trump is away from the Capitol, away from the palace, all of the senators, all of the party apparatchiks, that's how they're going to slide in. While Trump is asleep, while Trump is busy, while Trump is in Minnesota or wherever campaigning, that's where they're going to slide their agenda in, and it's going to get actually worse.
And he's right. Because it's happening just like he said it was going to happen. And I remember him saying this last year. I remember him saying that this is how it's going to go. Once he got off the MAGA train. Once he got off the MAGA train, excuse me, y'all, because the weather changes, I get a cold. But once he got off the MAGA train, he was like, yeah, I can see exactly how Trump is going to do it. See, he got early. He figured it out early. Because, you know, he just did. He figured it out that Trump was already bought. Trump was already bought and paid for. Because he was running, Trump ran for presidency so he wouldn't have to go to prison. Because Fannie Willis, all those people that were prosecuting him had him dead to rights. Okay, even the guy that's Frank Smith, or is it Smith? But anyway, that guy, even him, he had Trump dead to rights. That's why they don't want him to testify in public. He's testifying now in front of the Congress right now. This Frank Smith, but Donald Trump and Republicans didn't want him to testify in public because they knew that he had Trump dead to rights for what Trump did, for starting to inciting the riot and trying to tell people that the 2020 election was stolen, even though that's a lie, right? So Nick had it already figured out. So Nick looked at Donald Trump and knew that he was lying last year. When he was running, he knew he was lying. So that's why he got off the train. And he's been telling the truth about Trump from the beginning. Nobody's really listening to him except his gropers and a bunch of other people. But, you know, basically, Nick has been spot on about Donald Trump. Well, I mean, the left knew Donald Trump was what he was. Most people that are on the right either know what he is and not blindly accept that that's what he is, or they just goofies and don't get what he is. But Nick was a person on the right, and he got Trump immediately.
Just as I said it would. So I don't believe, actually, that things are so optimistic with the Trump administration. We have to stop lying to ourselves about all of it. You don't need to pick a side. You don't need to be white-pilled or black-pilled. You need to be clear-pilled. You need to be realistic. You need to stop lying to yourself.
Right.
You need to stop negotiating with yourself on behalf of a party that doesn't care about you.
And that's exactly what I say every day. You people that are on the right thinking that the Republicans care about everyday ordinary people, they don't. People in Congress, they don't care about what's going on with the middle class. You need to figure it out and then act accordingly. This is what Nick is saying. And I've been saying it, but it's somebody on the right, somebody who used to be a MAGA, who's also saying to you, you need to wake up.
And that involves taking a cold, hard look at where we're at. And where we're at is that the war in Ukraine rages on. The war in the Middle East is about to get started again. Mass deportations have not happened. And we know that because ICE has not released any deportation numbers since Joe Biden was president because they're so embarrassingly low. H-1B visas hit their cap this year, over 120,000 of them. We're actually doubling the number of Chinese students. The economy is not doing well, actually. It's barely chugging along. Job market's frozen. It's not going the way they said it would go. And here tonight is the perfect example. It's kind of a good segue. This is why tonight we're a year in. We had White House, the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court. We had a lot of federal judges. We have governors. We have state legislatures. Republicans have power. We are firmly in power. We're a year in after we won the popular vote in a landslide electoral college victory. And we have to go out on TV and defend the record because it is that bad and it is that unpopular. And so we're going to get into it. We're going to talk first about this primetime address from Donald Trump tonight. We'll set it up. Yesterday, it was announced that Trump would be addressing the nation primetime from the White House tonight. And as of last night, nobody had any clue what the speech would be about. This morning, there was a rumor going around that the speech would be a declaration of war against Venezuela.
Which is what I said to you all, too. I said, I bet you he's going to, in order to distract us from the Epstein files dropping, Epstein files drop tomorrow. In order to distract us from the Epstein files, which are the bulk of them are going to drop tomorrow, he is going to declare war on Venezuela. That's what everybody thought.
And this was timed, I think coincidentally, with a war powers resolution voted on in the House of Representatives, which would constrain Trump's ability to declare war. So people said the timing of these two things would suggest that Trump is going to war. Tucker Carlson made an appearance on Judge Andrew Napolitano's show this morning, and he said he was told by a member of Congress that the White House briefed Congress that we were going to war with Venezuela. It would be announced tonight.
Right.
This was verified by antiwar.com. It was verified by other sources. And everybody tuned in tonight at 8 o'clock Central to see our declaration of war.
Right.
It didn't happen. Instead, we got a 20-minute speech, 20 minutes exactly, where the president defended his record on the economy and announced a couple of bizarre new initiatives. This is a story about it from the New York Times. It says, quote, President Trump delivered an 18-minute primetime speech to the nation Wednesday evening, arguing that the economy under his leadership is in better shape than Americans believe. It's so good that, you have to tell everybody how good it is. Nobody knows the economy's good. You have to remind them.
Right.
Hey, I know you feel broke, but you're not. I know you feel like you've gotten poorer.
Right.
You're wrong. You're better off. You
Right.
feel good. You feel prosperous now.
Right.
I think the numbers on Black Friday were something like 90% of people used Klarna, used buy now, pay later to finance their Black Friday purchases.
Right.
But yeah, no, everything's totally fine. 50-year mortgages, buy now, pay later is super popular. Job market is frozen. They didn't even publish the numbers in October.
Right.
No, but it's great. It's great. Trust the plan, idiot. It's actually fine. Gas is 50 cents a gallon. Just trust me. The article goes on. It says,
right.
Wielding charts and figures, some of them misleading, Mr. Trump tried to make the case that the economy is improving, or at least that the bad parts of it are not his fault. The speech resembled comments Mr. Trump often makes while speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, full of self-praise of his own job performance while disparaging his predecessor, President Joe Biden. But he had a wider audience than usual, with networks interrupting their regularly scheduled programming to carry the remarks.
Because everybody thought he was going to announce that we were going to war. Everybody wants to be there when we have historic information. We have extraordinary. They were told, but see, I believe that was a red hair. I believe it's just something that they put out there so that everybody would tune in, and then he'd spout that bullshit that he spouted. Everything that president spouted was bullshit. Everything. He knew people were expecting him to say something about the war, and yet he had us all tuned in, and then all of a sudden, that's all he did was a freaking show, dog and pony show, and then walked off stage. Was done. That was wild.
In a surprising moment, Mr. Trump announced what he called a warrior dividend. Cool name, cool.
Although he's already giving that away, so it's not something new. It's something that already is going to the members, the service members. It's nothing new. Don't let the president distract you from the bullshit.
Cool stuff. In which checks of $1,776 will be sent to 1.4 million members of the military. The president said the money would come from tariffs that he has levied on goods imported into the country.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, remember when he said that the tariffs would pay down the debt? So that was a lie. Then he said the tariffs were going to create a dividend for everybody. And that was a lie too. So now the tariffs are going to pay for a dividend for the troops. Okay, well, what about the rest of us? You know, what about the rest of us that aren't fighting for Israel or whatever? It's a warrior dividend. Great. So the tariffs destroyed the stock market. The tariffs to slow down the economy. Good news is the troops are going to get a paycheck. Well, there's no one more deserving, right? The article goes on. It says, Mr. Trump promised the economy would improve in the next year and that his policies would cause prices on electricity and everything else to fall dramatically. He said mortgage payments will be coming down even further early in the new year. And he said he would announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history next year. Okay, hopefully so. A recent New York Times analysis of Mr. Trump's approval ratings found a decline in support for Mr. Trump's handling of the economy from July to November.
Right.
After he was finished speaking, he turned to the press and said, "You think that's easy?" And then took a swig of Diet Coke. He then suggested to those in the room that his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, had told him that he had to deliver the speech. He asked how he had done. Miss Wiles replied, "I told you 20 minutes and you were 20 minutes on the dot." So it's very clear that this was all another trick. This is all just part of the bag of tricks.
But it's always a part of the bag of tricks. This is what I don't get that people don't see. It's always a part of the bag of tricks. It's always something to fool the American public. Tell everybody that is good, everything is good, and then it's not. Tell everybody I'm the best there is, and you're not. It's always a bag of tricks.
And I'll tell you what happened. Trump tricked the media and the public into watching this garbage. His approval ratings are in the toilet. His favorability is in the toilet. People's opinion of his job approval, specifically on the economy and immigration, is in the toilet. It's all bad. Trump is unpopular with his own base because of the exit of Marjorie Greene, the handling of the Epstein files, the post about Rob Reiner, the lack of conclusion to the war in Ukraine, lack of mass deportations, lack of law and order from National Guard in the cities. People are not happy with the Trump administration. He's not delivering. All he is doing is talking. Rather than deliver one or any of the promises that he made, he is simply talking them up, trying to convince us that they are certainly happening. So he went and traveled and did a rally last week where he gave basically this exact same speech. And you might not know that that happened, and probably you didn't see it. He went out to a rally last week and gave a big stump speech. He's a lame duck president giving a stump speech, giving a campaign rally, talking about how everything is actually fine. Nobody carried it. Nobody picked it up. Nobody paid any attention. So this is where they hatched this idea. How are we going to get the public to listen to our defense of our catastrophic administration? We will trick them. We will actually just lie to them. So the Trump administration put out through back channels this rumor that Trump was going to war with Venezuela. He put that rumor out, maybe through Congress, maybe through Tucker Carlson, through others, and he tricked us. The mainstream media thought that Trump was going to declare war on Venezuela tonight, so they carried it on the networks. The American public thought a declaration of war was being made tonight, so people tuned in.
Right.
And then it was a classic bait and switch.
Right.
Instead of declaring war on Venezuela, he gave an 18-minute stump speech defending his record and announcing that next year, everything's just going to get better.
Right.
And this is why everyone hates Trump now. This is why everyone hates Trump. Everyone hates this administration because it is a scam. It's not even a failure. It's not even an honest failure. It is a scam. We are not getting anything that we have been promised. Think about it.
Right.
We were promised industrial policy, tariffs, subsidies. They backed down in 1 week. Remember Liberation Day, April 2nd, we're going to liberate ourselves from free trade. We're going to have tariffs on every country. They caved in 1 week and then said, oh, the whole time it was really just about China. Remember that? Another fake out. They said, we're declaring tariffs on every country in the world. And then when the bond market melted down, they said, never mind. It was really just a big trick. And what we always intended to do was to only have tariffs on China and nobody else.
Because listening to Nick, you get the insight. You get insight into that Republican brain, the way they think. That's why he's interesting to watch. I don't like him. I don't like what he stands for, but that don't mean he can't be right about certain things. And he has been right and he has been correct about most of the things that this Trump administration has been doing. He used to be an insider, remember? Remember he went to the White House and he visited Donald Trump. Him and Ye went to see Donald Trump. This man has an insight into the thought processes of these people. So everything he has said so far has been right. So why am I listening to him? Because I'm not a righty. I'm not a MAGA. I'm not a zombie. I don't know how y'all think. I know what you do, but I don't know how you think. He knows how you think. And he's trying to wake you up. Wake up. The Trump administration is fooling you or trying to fool you. Every person that saw that speech last night, every person that watched that speech last night said, what the fuck am I watching? That's exactly what went through everybody's head when they saw that speech. What the hell am I watching? We all said that. And he's telling you why everybody is reacting the way they are. So yes, I am listening to Nick Fuentes.
Trump always chickens out. Then he said, we're going to deploy the National Guard to Chicago and LA and Memphis and every major city, and we're going to bring law and order to the streets. Then they said, oh, actually, we can't do that. And if we deploy 200 National Guard, that's what we meant. And we're only doing it for 60 days. And it never happened. Trump always chickens out. He said mass deportations. We're going to get all these people back. We're going to deport everybody, the violent criminals first, and then everybody else. 300,000 deportations for the year. He always chickens out. Every single thing is a catastrophe. And instead of just being honest about the state of things, instead of actually just recommitting to doing these things that were promised, we get excuses. They just fucking lie. And Trump gets up in a primetime address like he did every week in the first term and said, actually, everything's really going great. And it's like we just live in two different worlds now. We live in two different worlds with MAGA supporters, with Trump supporters.
Right.
In the minds of Trump supporters, 3 million people have been deported, and Trump has ended 8 wars, and inflation is actually down. Like
we believe that. I keep saying, why y'all trying to gaslight the rest of us? The rest of us don't believe him. The rest of us don't believe you. Okay? We know he's gaslight. We know he's full of bullshit. We knew that before you elected him. But now we down this rabbit hole with y'all. And now y'all seeing that it ain't fun to be down the rabbit hole with this goofy who is in the White House. Now y'all seeing that it's not cool to be down the rabbit hole with that goofy in the White House.
And that is what they believe. Even though the war in Ukraine is going on, they will confidently tell you, but Trump ended 8 wars. And what they're referring to is the war between Thailand and Cambodia, not making that up. The war between Rwanda and Congo, not making that up. The war between the skirmish between India and Pakistan. In reality, where we live, the Ukraine war, the actual war, that's still going on. The peace in Gaza, that's falling apart and will probably restart anytime soon. But Trump supporters will say, no, but he ended 8 different wars. How much do you want him to do? It's like, I think we elected him to end the war in Ukraine, not the one in Cambodia, actually. Not the border skirmish in Cambodia, You say, where are the mass deportations? They don't even report the figures. The best estimates say it's 300,000, maybe 500,000 at most. In Trump world, they take a community survey that polled 65,000 households, and they extrapolate that to mean that 3 million people left the country because they were afraid of Trump. Trump deployed National Guard to Washington, D.C. They said, so actually, he made good on the promise of restoring law and order. And he comes onto the primetime address and insults our intelligence, defending this record with nonsense. Defensive with these cutesy little rhetorical phrases. We didn't need legislation to close the border. We just needed a new president. Yeah, that was cute like the first 300 times we heard it. Now it's just a joke. So this characterizes everything about the Trump years. The whole thing is a bait and switch. The whole thing is just a never-ending advertisement. We're always fighting. Victory, prosperity is always just around the corner. Even tonight, he announces a check for the veterans. Okay, honestly, big deal. The tariffs are not bringing in that much money. They're not solving the debt problem at all.
Right.
They're not bringing back manufacturing. But Trump instead just lies and says, well, actually, we're bringing in so much money, we're going to get rid of income taxes and we're going to pay people money. Well, what happened to Doge cutting the deficit by $2 trillion? I
don't know. Where's my Doge check? Where's my Doge?
What happened to tariffs actually making money from every country? Then he says, well, we're going to cut a check to everybody. Oh, we don't have enough money for that. Now it's a check for the veterans. Now,
see, that's my thing. Why is it that we still got this steadfast holding of MAGA onto this president, onto the things that he says? And it's obvious that he's lying when he does talk. It's obvious that he is lying when he does talk. I don't understand. Maybe people need daddies. A lot of people need daddies around here, and they believe anything the old 80-year-old white man says. What they don't understand is the 80-year-old white man lies with everything that he says. Everything he says is practically a lie to further his agenda.
Oh, it's a check for the soldiers, and we'll call it a warrior dividend. Warrior. More of this cultural language. The only thing that was substantive in the speech, he talked about a ambitious housing plan.
Right.
Next year. Okay, why? It's like you hear that and you go, he does a primetime address to announce that he'll have a housing plan later.
Right.
Then why announce it now? He comes on 8 o'clock, prime time, tricks everybody into watching. Okay, you've got everybody's attention. You've got a captive audience. What do you have to say? How are we going to turn this around? What's the plan? Right. Well, I am going to change housing. It is the most ambitious, wide-reaching housing reform in American history, and it's almost done.
Right.
I'm announcing it next year. Okay, so did you plan on becoming president? I understand if you were surprised that you won the first time.
Right.
But this is the third time you ran for president.
Right.
And you should have a pretty good idea of what you want to do when you get in. There's no housing plan. It's not finished yet.
Right.
Did you not know you needed one during the presidential transition before the election? And why are we announcing it now then? Hey, I have an announcement, everybody. I'm working on a plan for housing. Get ready because it's all going to get better. Right. Okay, but when? And what is it? And what are the details? When are we actually going to see prosperity. And how are they going to get that through the Congress in 2026 when Democrats are having to appease and pander to their base?
Right.
How's that even going to work? Trump has passed 5 bills this entire year. Every other president, it's like over 100. He's passed 5.
Because he's been doing everything by executive order. He's been doing it by executive order because he knows his policies are crap. Republicans know that their policies are only good for rich people. They aren't good for the American regular middle class people. And most middle class people would be pissed if they figured out what was going on. This is why, and Trump is trying to enrich his family. He's trying to set up a legacy. He wants to be in remembrance. He wants to be on everybody's mind once he leaves too. Oh, he used to be the president. He was X, Y, and Z. You're going to be a shitty president. You're going to go down in history as a shitty president. So I guess he feels like any kind of president is better than no president at all. I'd rather be a shitty president than a decent president. That's what I'm assuming.
He doesn't even have a plan yet, but now next year there's going to be a far-reaching housing plan. We're now going to take affordability later.
Right.
And the speech isn't even good. On top of all this, so first of all, you lie to get us to watch. You lie to our faces that things are going great. You don't even have a plan. Clearly, he knows there's a problem.
Right.
He knows it's not going well. He knows he needs a reset. He doesn't even have a plan.
Right.
There's not even an idea. Oh, we'll cut a check to the veterans and the rest to be announced later.
Right.
There's not even a plan. Insulting us with lies about the state of the economy. And then to add insult to injury, it's not even a good speech. He sounds retarded. If you actually watch the speech, he can't even read. He's reading from a teleprompter, and you could see him stumbling maybe a half dozen times in an 18
Oh, sorry, y'all.
minute speech. The confidence isn't there anymore. The swagger isn't there. Stuttering, stumbling, weird little riffs, weird little verbal tics, detours he keeps going on. And you say, so the magic is gone too. The substance is gone. The style is gone. He's not delivering. It's not even the same message. And he's not even funny. And now it's not even entertainment. And I see these assholes on Twitter. They say Trump just trolled the media into carrying his primetime address from the White House. The joke is on them. No, the joke is on us. The joke is on us that Trump has tricked us, saber rattling, starting another new war. We tune in. It's insult after insult.
Right.
Lies. And it's not even entertaining on top of it. Who got trolled here exactly? Other than anybody that still supports this person. Other than anybody that still believes in any capacity that this administration can get something done. So I watched the address. It's just another ridiculous show.
Right.
And I'm ready to be done with the Trump show. And unlike Tucker, I'm not going to do a 180 and say, oh, I don't know what I said. You know, what I meant was, no, this Trump show it's just got to end. I don't know. And I would say he should step down, but then JD Vance is going to become the president. But what do you even do with this at this point?
Right.
Everything I said has come to pass.
Right.
Worse even than I imagined. Because I told you in 2024 it would be like this. I told you this is exactly how it would go. And it was pretty obvious why. Trump had sold out to the donors on everything, on labor, on immigration, on foreign policy. His cabinet was hand-selected by Susie Wiles, a lobbyist from Florida, and she brought in all the Florida swamp creatures. She handpicked this bullshit cabinet. It should have been absolutely predictable, but somehow it's even worse. I told you a year ago, it's going to be corporate tax cuts, war for Israel. The war in Ukraine is not going to end. No mass deportations. It's going to be more permanent bureaucrats running out the clock. They're not going to move with the urgency, the swiftness that they need to. And in the end, all it's going to do is bring the left down harder upon us. Let's say the Democrats win in 2028, which if they appoint an actually viable candidate, we're in trouble. We kind of got lucky in 2024, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
We got lucky that Joe Biden is demented. We got lucky that his successor, Kamala Harris, was somehow more unpopular than him. Joe Biden was barely alive.
Right.
Kamala Harris had never won a single contest, a caucus, a primary, has never won any kind of contest in a national election.
Right.
Add to that Trump had the full weight of the Israel lobby and little tech, and he got shot in the ear and had the iconic moment that changed the course of history. So we kind of got lucky in 2028, just like we got lucky in 2016. If the Democrats put up a halfway decent candidate in 2028 that doesn't alienate white people,
y'all cooked,
that isn't super woke and isn't super cringe, we're going to get absolutely destroyed.
Yep.
And you know what's going to happen when they win? They're not going to fuck around like we are. They're not going to hire Rachel Maddow to run the FBI.
Right.
They're not going to appoint a bunch of idiots to run the cabinet.
Right.
They're going to hire the best judges, the best lawyers, the best law enforcement, and they are going to literally kill us. They are literally going.
We're going to change the Supreme Court. We're going to get health care. We're going to try to get a single payer. We're going to codify this shit so y'all won't be able to change it. We ain't going to fuck with y'all no more. We done fucking with you Republicans trying to destroy the country. Y'all fucking cooked.
Going to take away all of our civil liberties. They're going to throw us in jail. Because you see that Trump is barking up the wrong tree here. He is weaponizing the deal.
Yeah, all of them motherfuckers, they going to go to jail. We going to insist on it. We going to insist on it, starting with that Bondi chick. We going to insist on it.
OJ against James Comey, Barack Obama, Letitia, what is her name? Letitia James Jackson, whatever. The way that Trump is going after his enemies, the way that he is inciting them and basically just antagonizing the radical left. He is inviting a brutal retaliation.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't get lucky in 2028, they're almost certainly getting back in power. They will wield executive power.
Y'all ain't going to get lucky because what y'all going to do is try to put J.D. Vance up. And ain't nobody going to vote for the bisexual vice president. They just ain't. It is what it is.
They'll have the House, maybe not the Senate.
Allegedly.
And unlike Republicans, are not going to screw around. They're going to come to get us. So people say, well, why don't you just trust the plan? Why don't you just be patient? Well, we're trying our best. Trump needs to be acting like a literal dictator. You either need to be a dictator or you need to make peace with the left. But you can't do this thing in the middle where you pretend to be a dictator, but you're not one. Because like I said, all that is doing is inviting a retaliation. And Trump might be fine. If he pardons himself preemptively, he'll be okay. It's us that's going to pay the price. It's Elon that'll pay the price. It's everybody that helped Trump ever. They're going to pay the price from a new Democrat administration. They're going to help all their allies. They're going to punish all their enemies. Because
see, that's the thing we don't do. We don't punish the enemies. We punish the people who broke the law. So there's a lot of people that broke the law, and we are going to punish those people. We don't come after our enemies like this president does. We don't come after our enemies and then stand behind our president while he does bullshit like your president does. That's the difference. We won't stand by our president and do that.
We didn't do that when we had the power. So this is very frustrating. It's very hard to watch because this is just a squandered opportunity. You actually had the ability to achieve a golden age if Trump was halfway serious, but people just didn't want to see the flaws. People were so caught up in the hype, so whipped up in the moment. All these stupid political cocksuckers, they were being paid under the table by super PACs.
That's how it always is. They have not gotten anything done for the middle class, and they don't plan to, which is why I always ask people, what has this president done for you as a middle class person making 30 to 150? President hasn't done anything for you. He don't plan on doing anything for you. This is what it is.
The party itself, whatever, paid as consultants, paid as nonprofits. All these political idiots were basically paid, or they didn't care. They looked the other way. They gassed everybody up. They were all in on Trump. Nobody pointed out the flaws. And now we're stuck with this nonsense for 4 years, and then we're all going to die.
Yeah, you stuck with this nonsense for 4 years. You all, that base, your base, you got us into this mess. That one tweet about Rob Reiner and his wife dying. That right there should have convinced any Trump supporter that your president is trash and he's doing trash things. But it is what it is.
And I'm not trying to be melodramatic about that, but we have been absolutely screwed. And the reason I keep saying I told you so is because this reflects a feature in the Republican Party. I said all of this last year, and I made a very rational case. I made the arguments, and on some level, everybody kind of knew this. But the people that influence the conversation on social media don't care. They don't read. They don't know anything.
Right.
And they don't care about the outcome. Right. They're also being paid, and they didn't disclose that they were being paid. So I had guys like Elijah Schaffer. I'll name some names. I had guys like Elijah Schaffer confronting me at CPAC this year. So I don't get it. Why didn't you support Trump? Well, hey, buddy, do you know now? He tells me, I don't watch your show. I don't have time. Why don't you like Trump? Well, maybe if you watch his show, maybe if you cracked open a book once in a while, maybe if you read something instead of just taking money from India and El Salvador, maybe you'd know why I didn't support Trump. Maybe you wouldn't be finding out a year later like everybody else.
Right.
And he's just one example. And I like Elijah. I consider him a friend. But I'm calling him out on his irresponsibility, just like I'll call out a lot of people that in the end went for Trump because they wanted to brown nose. They wanted a job in the campaign. They wanted a job in the admin on this sinking fucking ship. They wanted a title. They didn't want to be left out or left behind. They didn't want the FOMO. Mm-hmm. So they said, I'm going to support Trump. I got to get in on this. I know that it's not exciting. And they lied to themselves. And many of them lied to you. They took money under the table. And they lied to you, and they pretended like this administration was going to be great. And honestly, the whole thing is, when I say a scam, I mean they're looting the government.
They're looting the government, which is what I also said. I also said they're looting the government. All of the people in Washington, that includes Democrats and Republicans, but they're looting the government. But since the president is the Republican in charge, he's allowing all of these things to happen, and he's also looting the government, which is something we knew, but, we just didn't, now we down this rabbit hole, like I said. We down this rabbit hole. We got drugged down this rabbit hole.
These cabinet officials, they are fucking corrupt. Right. They're looting the government. Yeah. What did Trump do when he won? He put out a shit coin and told everybody to buy it on social media. And
everybody went, this is the meme coin. This, that crypto shit. This motherfucker drug everybody out. He drug everybody down that hole with him. And then he rug pulled all of y'all's ass. Trump rug pulled all of y'all's ass who bought that damn meme coin.
That is now more than 50% of his net worth. You fucking stupid idiot. Trump got elected, put out a shit coin. All of his followers bought it, and then he sold and made literally billions of dollars. And you don't think that all of his cronies did exactly the same thing?
Hell yeah, they planned this shit. They plan to take the American scam. They plan to scam the American people out of the money. Why do you think Trump has all these things for sale? He got Bibles, coats, jackets, shoes, meme coin, crypto. He got all this shit for sale. So suckers buy his shit. And he getting paid.
You don't think that all of the insiders, many of them Jewish, at Mar-a-Lago, you don't think they profited from that as well? Mm-hmm. Of course they did. Mm-hmm. Talk about an omen. Talk about a red flag. Gee, I wonder if Trump is going to scam us again. I wonder if Trump is going to screw us again. And then he puts out a shit coin. Everybody buys it. And he literally rug pulls you and leaves you holding the bag like any other celebrity, like any other crypto scammer. And you thought you were going to get your mass deportations. Mm-hmm. This whole thing needs to be burned to the ground, figuratively. Not literally, but this whole thing needs to be burned to the ground. You're not mad enough.
Right.
You're not angry enough. You're not pissed off enough. You people are not tired of eating shit yet. People are still gobbling the stuff up. Ha, ha, ha. Trump trolled them into carrying his address. Ha, ha. Trump.
He can be as racist as he wants to be. Is he lying about Trump? Is he lying about Trump? That's the question. I don't think he is. I think he's telling the unapologetic truth. And people don't like him because he is being very honest. It is the people who keep giving excuses for this president that need to figure out what the hell's going on with you, that you don't see that this he might be a drifter. He might be a grifter, but President Trump is a bigger grifter. President Trump is a bigger grifter.
Trump said Somalians are garbage. What a laugh.
We're going to sit right back and watch him do it, Friars.
What a riot. You stupid idiot. And what do you think is going to happen? And at the end of these 4 years, Springfield, Ohio is still going to be filled with Haitians, and Minneapolis is still going to be filled with Somalis. I will bet you.
Okay. They still going to be filled with these people because this is an unserious president. He don't care. He cares about enriching himself. That's it. That's all.
$10 billion fucking dollars that is the case. Would you take me up on that? Absolutely not, because you know as well as I do, those people aren't going anywhere. They're going to put another Nicky Knack 300 National Guard and ICE and Border Patrol in Minneapolis. They're going to have them doing a bunch of poses for social media video edits, and then they're going to go home. Some stupid liberal's going to put their middle finger in their face. You're going to get trolled on social media, and then they're going to go home. And Trump is going to say mission accomplished, because that's exactly what happened in Chicago. They had this, what do they call it? Operation Midway Blitz.
Right.
Operation Midway Blitz. What did they call it? Alligator Alcatraz. Hey, pal. And then what did they deport? 1,000 fucking people? They went to LA with the National Guard, and in the end, they deported 1,000 people. You had liberals storm the detention facility, and they found it was empty. Liberals stormed the detention facilities where illegal immigrants are being concentrated, and it was empty. Like, if that doesn't tell you what this administration is.
On bullshit and doing everything just for the optics, because they got to convince a group of people, a group of y'all, group of people, group of MAGAs got to convince y'all that they doing what they say they doing instead of grifting. Oh, we just gonna let them think that we don't care about, or we don't care about these immigrants. We gonna let them think we doing what we doing. They lying. This is what he's saying. Just because he's 5-foot man virgin does not mean he ain't telling the truth.
Liberals think there's another Holocaust. They think that ICE is the new Gestapo, Trump is the new Hitler, illegals are the new Jews, and they are literally being whipped up. They think it's another Holocaust. That's why you have snipers blowing people's heads off. That's why you have terrorist attacks being plotted against this country. Because they think it's Nazi Germany, and they're not even deporting anybody. The detention facilities are empty. In the end, who is that guy that they deported to El Salvador and the judges made them bring him back?
Garcia.
What was that guy's name? Something Garcia?
Yeah.
They made the Trump administration bring him back.
Right.
Hey, listen up, Garcia, Kilmar, Alberto Garcia. You have 100 days until you get deported. And then you have 50 days until you're brought back. All these illegal alien farm workers, you have 200 days to get the fuck out of our country. And then you have a 30-day grace period to lawfully come back in, and we will give you an H-1A visa, and we will set you up in the Four Seasons Hotel, because that's what Brookie wants. That's what Brooke Rollins at Agriculture wants, because she has a better relationship with Trump than Kristi Noem, because that's our idiot cabinet, America First Policy Institute.
Right.
How many people were complicit in this? All of these people are complicit. They are all going to parties wearing tuxedos where people are not invited. No, but all these people, they're making money. All these people in politics, Trump included, Kristi Noem, Corey Lewandowski, These people are all making money,
Right.
effectively, allegedly selling titles, like doing corrupt things that powerful people do. They're all securing their retirement while they loot the country, while they dare the left to kill us. And then when the left comes to power, we're going to be the ones holding the bag. That's why it is a disgrace. It is a disgrace.
Mm.
And everybody that shilled for Trump, like, you can just never trust them again. Anybody that was pro-Trump, you know, I don't care if they were well-intentioned or not, you can just never trust them again. Anybody that said, oh, I told people to vote for Trump, Tucker and Candace included, we had a chance to turn this around. It was during the election. It was during you want to call Trump out, call him out when he needs your damn vote.
Right.
Trump was saying all this a year ago about H-1B visas, about stapling green cards to diplomas.
Right.
He was not serious about mass deportations a year ago. He was talking about bombing Iran a year ago. The time to call him out on it was last year when they needed something from us, when they needed our vote.
You all hit the like, share, and subscribe button, please, and thank you. We try to have content like this every day. We are listening to Nick Fuentes call out the Trump administration for the grifting that he seems to think they're doing, and a lot of people think that they're doing. Maybe it's not a matter of the whole administration doing it, but we do know that the president is doing it. President is enriching himself and enriching his family. So we do know this is what's going on with the presidency, because he's selling pardons. He's compromised overseas. These are the things that Nick is talking about. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Please and thank you. I appreciate it.
But all of you people told yourselves, well, we'll figure that out later. Okay, well, it's later. And the speech tonight said, oh, it's coming later. It's always just a year away. Not for Israel, not for the billionaires, not for the oligarchs. For them, they get their tangible benefit today on a silver platter. For all of us voters, we're waiting for next year, always. So that's your primetime address. I don't know how people even find it funny. It's not funny. The whole thing's a big joke. The whole thing is a big, stupid joke. And you understand why Marjorie Taylor Greene quit. Because it's like, and I understand, people like her son is getting death threats. Her family's getting death threats. She's trying to make good on the promises, and she's being attacked by the president, sicking his supporters on her. And you go, okay, so what are we even fighting for then? If the leader is not even pushing the principles of America first, if he's going to endorse Lindsey Graham but attack Marjorie Greene, if he's going to open up the floodgates for the Chinese to fund the universities, and he's attacking me for saying that's not a good idea, then why are we suffering like this? Now, the difference is that Marjorie didn't know what she was really fighting for. In her mind, she thought she was fighting for Trump and MAGA. I never made that mistake. I'm fighting for this movement. I'm fighting for America first. And if Trump will be America first, then we're with Trump. And if he's not, then we're not. And that's why we can't be absolutely beholden to anybody. That's why our loyalty actually comes with a price tag. You want support from the Groypers? You want support from me? You want support from America first? You have to give us something.
Right.
I don't have a jersey on. I'm not under a contract. I'm not being paid under the table by these people. You want me to shill for Trump and not Gavin Newsom? You want me to shill for Trump and not Kamala?
Yeah, and that's the beauty. That's exactly right, Ty Pro. The America first that he's talking about is white America first. He's not talking about the rest of us. He's not talking about Black America first. He's not talking about Indian America or Hispanic America. He's talking about white America. This is why he and I will always be on two different opposite spectrums, because he only thinks of somebody that's white. He never thinks of anybody else. He cannot think outside of himself. So this is why Nick and I will never get along. He only thinks of white America first. He never thinks of any other color.
Give me something. Give us something tangible. We have a price, just like Elon Musk has an ask, just like Miriam Adelson has an ask. We have an ask as well. And that's a difference between people that are serious and people that are being strung along and turned out like political whores. Marjorie Greene, making these deals, she thinks she's a genius. She thinks that she's making moves. You're not making moves. You're being used. You are being instrumentalized by them. And you think that's influence. They use you, and you think that's influence. They tell you what to do. They tell you what to support. You have no say in it. You have no independent following, no independent base of support, and you think that's influence. That's a mirage. So that's why we have to absolutely steel ourselves going into 2026 and 2028. You and me have to steel ourselves. We cannot ever allow it to happen again. We can let the Republican Party lose, and they will squeal like pigs, and they will say, you're going to make us lose. You're with the Democrats. Nick Fuentes is an operative. They're going to say all this kind of stuff. Remember how you feel now when they say that. Fuck you. They're going to tell us in 26, just like they did in 24. They're going to say, we got to hold the line. I know it's not all it's cracked up to be. I know we didn't deliver on everything, but hey, it's not all bad. They're going to say that. And in 2026, you need to be ready to say, well, that sounds like a you problem. They're going to tell you Republicans can't afford to lose the House. You're going to have to say, that sounds like a you problem. You know, you should have thought of that when you put together this big, beautiful bill and it was a piece of shit legislation. You should have thought of that when you didn't deport 2 million people in 2 years. You should have thought of that when you brought in those 600,000 Chinese students. Do those people vote? You should have thought of that when you said you need 600,000 Chinese students to pay the universities. Are the universities going to vote? Go ask them for their vote. Go ask the 600,000 Chinese students for their vote. Go ask the Ivy League universities for their vote, because you're keeping them in business by doing that. Go ask the illegal immigrant farmers and the illegal immigrants that work in hospitality. Go ask for their vote, because you protected their right to live here illegally. That's who you're looking out for. So what are you talking to me for? You're telling me Republicans are going to lose? That sounds like a you problem. Go tell the people you actually defend. Go talk to Elon Musk. Go talk to Sam Altman. Go ask to Ken Griffin. Go talk to BlackRock and Blackstone. You go and talk to them, Larry Fink, and you explain to them that Republicans are going to get devastated in the midterms and how bad it's going to be. Because you had your chance. You had the House. You had the Senate, the White House, the Supreme Court. It was supposed to be a golden age, remake the federal judiciary or the federal bureaucracy. They said, Section F, we're going to fire 50,000 people. We're going to move fast and break things. We're going to cut the deficit. They didn't do any of it. Where's my National Guard? Where's my tariffs? Where's my austerity? Where's my savings in waste, fraud, and abuse in the deficit? Where's my mass deportations? Where's my America First labor policy? Where the fuck is it? You come back asking for more? You come back asking for another vote in 26, and if I say no, that's my fault? I'm the problem, and they'll do it again in 28. And that's why, you know, a lot of people say the show's a black pill, the show is negative. I need you to feel this. I need you to feel it in your bones. I need you to feel it in your heart. You have been betrayed. This is treachery. You have been betrayed.
I said that. I said Trump only cares about Trump and his rich cronies. He do not care about the poor American people. And you get played by Trump and the rich cronies, because that big, beautiful bill should have been a bill that helped middle America first. Rich people didn't need it, didn't want it. You should have helped the middle class first. If Trump would have helped the middle class first, he would be winning now. Now we see who he is. Now a lot of people are starting to see who he is, and they don't like it. I mean, it is what it is. We made that very clear at the beginning. This is the X, Y, and Z. Nobody wanted to listen. Everybody wanted Trump, 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 Trump. But Trump never had any intention of doing anything for the middle class people at all. He never had any intention. That tax on tips, tax on no tax on overtime. That's bullshit, and y'all know it. It's bullshit, and y'all know it. No tax on overtime. A lot of y'all don't do no fucking overtime. A lot of y'all don't do a lot of overtime. So how is that going to help you in any way, shape, or form when you don't work for tips? But this is something that we try to explain to people. That it was a scam. That he was a scammer. Even in the first term, he was a scammer then.
Things are not going well for you. It is going well for them. They don't even care. They are giddy. They are giddy. They are gleeful. Tucker and Candace told you to vote for Trump. Are they hurting? No. They're making more money than ever. Tucker just bought a new house in Doha.
Right.
Candace Owens cannot contain her joy. She told you to vote for this nonsense. Trump and all of his cronies made probably billions of dollars off of the Trump shitcoin. How are you doing? How are you handling the increase in Netflix and Disney Plus subscription costs? How are you handling the increase in prices across the board? 4.5%, 5% interest rate on a mortgage. How are you handling that?
How?
Did you use buy now, pay later for Black Friday?
Right.
Do you feel like we live in a safer, more white country with fewer immigrants than we did a year ago? Absolutely not. So you need to live in this. You need to, I'm not one of these people that's cheerful, rah, rah, rah. Hey guys, everything's fine. No, it's not fine and it's not okay. Everything sucks and it's not okay. And things need to change now. And they need to understand that if things don't change now, then we are ready to join them. We will hold their hand and we will walk into oblivion together. We will walk you down that road. They say it's going to be your fault. It's your fault. We have been promised things for 10 years, and it's always just around the corner, just another election. We just need a couple more seats. I got off the hamster wheel. I stopped playing that a long time ago. I endorse no one yet. You give me something, you fight for me, you promise.
No, I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything worthy under this administration. I gained all of my money from working under Biden. Biden is the only thing that has been on an upward trajectory in this economy. If you did the right things, if you knew how to invest your money, do X, Y, and Z, Biden was your guy. This right here, I don't understand what this president. This right here, I don't understand. There's no flourishing under this president. The stock market don't count either.
Promise me something. If you're some new guy, okay, now we'll talk. All these other people, you lost. So that's why I'm trying to really drill this home for you. Like, all it is marketing. All it is constant, ceaseless marketing. Email list, subscriptions, chat, watch the primetime thing. Hey, guys.
No, he only made private sector jobs. He didn't make government jobs. He only made private sector jobs. That's it. He didn't make public. He didn't do anything other than that. Okay. And then that wasn't even good. Stop it.
Slogan earring from Susie Wild. Hey, everything's actually fine. Really? For who?
For who?
For Elon Musk, who's now worth $600 billion. For who? Bitcoin's at 85,000.
Right.
No gains. Anyway, so.
Well, that's Nick's ranting right there. That's all we needed to do is rant with him. We only had to rant with him just for a little while. Right. Wait a minute, hold on. But that was Nick. I just brought to you what Nick said. I mean, everything he said so far has been true. It is what it is. That speech yesterday was bullshit. He did another rug pull. He said he was going to declare war, and then we get there and it's a fucking campaign rally. We turn on the TV, it's a campaign rally. Everything that this young man has predicted has been true. Sure enough, just because somebody is racist doesn't mean that I won't listen to them and listen to what they're saying. I'm not taking life advice from this person, but I am saying this person right here has told the truth so far. So I'm willing to listen to the person. Okay, we're willing to listen to the person. We know this person. We know this president is grifting. You all hit the like, share, and subscribe. He's not He's not saying, okay, I'm finna run for the presidency and then I'm finna take the American people money. That's not what he said. What he said was, I got to make sure my kids, my grandkids are good. So I'm going to do everything I can to any business deal, any kind of money, any kind of everything. Okay. You know damn well these people that the president keeps pardoning is paying the president. They're paying the president privately, and it's been known. He's paying the president privately $1 million or more per pardon, and he's pardoning these people. Because we know that. He's selling pardons. Okay? That alone should have disqualified him. But it didn't. The thing he said about Rob Reiner and his wife, that should have disqualified him as being the leader. But we still got you maggots out there holding on. Okay? And here's the thing. That shit that he did with Obama and that plaque of Obama and Biden, that's just trashy. But it's okay. It's okay. He's on the right. He's telling the truth about the people on the right. It is what it is. I'll take it. Y'all hit the like, share, and subscribe. We have content like this every day. This concludes our portion with Nick Fuentes. Tomorrow we will have the Fannie Willis. We will find out what went on with Fannie Willis's hearing about her getting called to the carpet and the other Democrats that got called to the carpet. So it is what it is. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all of it. All of the guys who show up. I appreciate my mods and all of that good stuff. Please and thank you. We will see you all tomorrow morning. It's always been a long week this week. It's not going to be that long all the time, but this week it was very long. You know, I got up at 5 a.m. I've been running all the way until 3 p.m. Then I had to rush in, do X, Y, and Z, so I really don't have no time. So please hit the like, share, subscribe. We will be back tomorrow. We have more content tomorrow. We will maybe have some House and some Senate, and maybe they got some good news about, I don't know, these American people definitely need some insurance. I don't understand what these people are doing. They are unserious and they don't care about the middle class. We care about the middle class, and we're gonna start pushing single payer. That's what we're gonna start pushing, single payer, because we need healthcare in this country and we need people to be covered, sick and well. But it is what it is. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.